LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up trans rights. Ohio BMV discontinues gender change form for licenses following budget directive. The Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles has stopped accepting its official declaration form used by individuals to update the gender marker on their driver's licenses and state identification cards. The decision stems from statutory language included in the latest state operating budget, which administrative officials interpret as restricting agency-level gender designation updates without a matching birth certificate revision. For years, Ohio residents could alter the gender marker on their state-issued IDs by submitting a signed statement from a licensed medical or mental health professional. Under the new directive, the BMV has removed the standard forms from its public system and instructed local deputy registrar branches to cease processing them. Civil rights advocates and LGBTQ advocacy groups strongly criticize the move, warning that it creates significant legal and administrative hurdles for transgendered residents. Equality organizations note that obtaining an updated birth certificate is not impossible, but now involves additional core processes that may not be accessible to everyone, and they are currently evaluating potential legal challenges to the administrative policies. Well, all these states are trying to do everything to take away people's abilities to define their gender on their license. I don't even know why we have gender on our licenses anymore at this point, because guess what? We're going to have so many people that do not look like the way you'd expect them to look on the ID because we won't let them change the ID to match, so it doesn't make sense anymore. You straight people are destroying gender.
And also, the whole, what if they don't have a birth certificate to change? What if they are born somewhere else and become naturalized later? And where on earth are you going to change a birth certificate? The budgetary issue is a blatant excuse to engage in some good old-fashioned transphobia from the reigning Republican legislature and government.
Yeah. It's sad. However, I'm probably going to get canceled for this one. Your driver's license, while yes, it is an important piece of the pie, most people who are going down this path are also doing other things, because we also have to think about passports, even though most people don't have passports in the United States, which is crazy to me. So a government, well, yes, I think what they are doing is definitely not the case. However, having somebody have to present the proper documentation to change everything, I don't think is out of the question. It's slippery for me, because I understand what you're saying as far as people need to be able to change their markers so that they their driver's license represents what they are presenting. However, if it's a legal form of documentation and you haven't changed everything, it's just like changing your name. When you get married, you have to go through the courts and everything. And then, unfortunately, like you said, I have a birth certificate that I actually had to prove to Virginia when I got my license there after 9/11. It was the type of birth certificate that I had from the state of Nevada was not the same as pictured in their book, because mine was originally from microfilm. And
I was like, I don't know what sort of fish.
Microfilm. So there's a lot of things here, and I also unfortunately see that if anybody could change their marker just by filling out a piece of paper because they wanted to, So
that's not what they were doing before. You still had to get a medical professional who has to be a medical professional in the United States. You do not just have to, go to school. You have to be certified and up to date with the federal government, like for them to prescribe subscriptions or whatnot. So yes, very highly vetted people would still have to sign off on this.
You have to be backed up by professional opinion. The whole thing about this trans rights debates right now is that Republicans trying to obfuscate it by claiming that anyone can just declare themselves trans. It doesn't work like that. Sure. You need to go through a process with doctors and psychiatrists and psychologists, and then you file the paperwork, and then you change your gender on your paperwork.
Not everyone's wild about that, because it's very unnecessary, to be perfectly blunt. Like if you feel a certain way, presenting a certain way, then hang out with us. If there are any trans guys that want to hang out in the locker room, just let it all hang out. I'm like, it's okay, guys. We love you being here. Anyway.
Agreed. Yeah.
I agree.
So, and that is an LGBTQ 1-minute news story. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBT stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.